Have you ever been on vacation and thought, did I just get ripped off? It's a horrible feeling, but happens more often than you think, especially in certain countries. In this video, I'm going to share 4 countries where tourists often get scammed. Knowing about these scams can save you money, stress, and maybe even your vacation. If you don't stick around, you might even walk into one of these scams the next time you travel without realizing it. Let's start with a country where even asking for directions can lead to a scam. This country is known for its rich culture, bustling markets, and lively music scene. Lagos, the largest city, is full of energy with street vendors, colorful festivals, and a fast-paced atmosphere. But beneath all the excitement, tourists often find themselves targeted by scammers. The country I am talking about is Nigeria. Now, Nigeria might not be on the list of many tourists. It's more of an advanced city that you need a lot of travel experience to visit, but it's important to know of some scams you can experience here. One of the most well-known scams in Nigeria is the 419 scam, or advance fee scam. It's named after the part of Nigeria's criminal code that covers fraud. In these scams, you might get an email or message claiming you won a prize or inherited money. The scammer will then ask for personal information or a small processing fee to release the funds. But, of course, the money never comes. On the street, fake tour guides might offer to show you around only to demand a big payment at the end. Taxi drivers are also known to overcharge tourists or take them on long, unnecessary routes to drive up the fare. Online forums are full of stories from travelers who have dealt with these scams. One person shared how they were approached by a friendly local who promised to show them a hidden market. After the tour, the guide demanded a huge tip and even threatened to call the police if they didn't pay. Another traveler mentioned getting an email about winning a free hotel stay in Lagos, only to realize after paying taxes upfront that the hotel didn't even exist. Have you ever gotten one of those sketchy emails promising you money or a free trip? Did you fall for it, or did you delete it right away? Nigeria's scams are bad enough, but the next country on the list has some of the oldest and most creative scams. Now, this country is famous for its ancient pyramids, the Sphinx, and the Nile River. It's one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world as well. So many more people visit this country compared to Nigeria. But with all the tourism it gets, there comes the dark side. Scammers who have mastered the art of tricking tourists. The country I am talking about is Egypt. One of the most common scams in Egypt happens right at the pyramids. Camel handlers will offer you a free ride for a small fee, usually just a couple of dollars. But when it's time to get off, they'll demand a much larger payment before helping you down. Another tricky scam involves fake tour guides. Someone will approach you, offer a free tour of a temple or monument, and then demand a large tip afterward. There's also the classic papyrus painting scam, where street vendors sell what they claim are hand-painted papyrus skulls, but most of them are just printed on cheap paper. People on online forums have shared some frustrating experiences in Egypt. One person said they were charged $50 to get off a camel after only being initially asked for $5. Another traveler mentioned getting talked into a free tour of the pyramids, only to be asked for a $20 tip at the end. Have you ever dealt with any situations like these while traveling? Have you experienced these in Egypt? I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. If you think getting scammed at the pyramids sounds rough, the next country on the list is known for scams that start the moment you get off the plane. Now, this country is known for its vibrant festivals, delicious foods, and beautiful sights like the Taj Mahal. Millions of tourists visit every year to experience the culture and spirituality. But unfortunately, this country also has a reputation for being a hotspot for scams. The country I am talking about is India. One of the most common scams in India happens at the airport. Taxi drivers will approach you and tell you your hotel is closed or overbooked. Then they take you to a different hotel where they get a commission, and it's usually more expensive and much lower quality. Another popular scam involves street beggars and street vendors. Children may approach you asking for food or money, but it's often part of an organized network where the money goes to someone else. Fake tour guides are also common, promising to show you the hidden spots of a city and then demand a large tip afterwards. On online forums, people have shared some pretty wild experiences about scams in India. One person said they agreed to take a taxi to their hotel, but the driver insisted it was closed and took them to a much more expensive place. Another traveler shared how a young girl asked for food, but after they bought her something, Several other kids swarmed them asking for the same thing. What would you do in that situation? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the scams in India. Now, India's scams are tricky, but the next one on the list has scams that are so subtle, you might not even realize you have been fooled until it's too late. This next country is known for its impressive sights like the Great Wall, bustling cities, and rich history. It's one of the most visited countries in the world, but it's also a place where tourists regularly get scammed. The country I am talking about is China, and one of the most common scams is the tea house scam. A friendly local, often a young woman, will approach you and invite you to experience a traditional tea ceremony. And after the experience, you'll be hit with an outrageously high bill. Another common scam happens with counterfeit money. Street vendors and taxi drivers might give you fake bills as change, leaving you with worthless money. There's also the art student scam, where someone who claims to be an art student invites you to see their work and then pressures you into buying it for an outrageously high price. Travelers online have shared lots of warnings about these scams. One person said they got invited to a tea house by a woman who seemed very friendly. After a short tea ceremony, the bill was over $100, and the staff blocked the door until they paid. Another traveler mentioned getting fake money after buying a souvenir, only realizing it was fake later when they tried spending it elsewhere. What do you think about these scams? Have you experienced any of these? What would you do in these situations? I'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts in the comments below. And just a disclaimer, I don't want to say anything bad about these people, the people from these countries. Just because there are a lot of scams, that doesn't mean there aren't good people there. The reason I chose these countries, because some of these countries are known for their scams, so it's good to bring awareness. But again, every country has its pros and cons. I don't want to talk bad about it, and I hope it doesn't come across like that. Obviously, it's hard to say which countries have the most scams, so when you watch this, please watch with an open mind. I hope this doesn't kill your dreams or desires to visit these countries, because I'm sure these countries still offer a lot to see and a lot of things to do. And I really, really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this information was helpful. Many other countries with notorious scams, but the goal of this video was just to open your eyes to scams in these countries. Again, I'm not saying anything bad about these countries, but I just want to talk about these specific countries. If you have any other countries that you experience a lot of scams, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. So traveling is easily one of the best ways to experience the world and new cultures, but you need to be aware. People around the world don't always have your best interests at heart, and they will do anything for a quick buck or to make some extra money. Fortunately, the way the world is going right now, you might even see more of that happening. But I also have videos talking about scams you can avoid. I recommend watching that video. And I also have videos about over-tourism in countries where locals are tired of seeing tourists. I think it's good to see that one so you can avoid booking destinations that are full of crowds and tourists.